Hi, it's Martin from Martin's Engine Services. Well, it's Wednesday, so it's time for what's happening in the workshop. Still a bit calmer today after the fairly busy Monday and yesterday doing that engine and that. So we are back to sort of somewhere near normal. Still Morris Minor sitting over there. Just had to go and do a couple of errands today down in the village, so took the old girl out. It's a perfect car for zipping around the village. Always brings a smile and a wave from a few people, and it's nice to give the old girl a run. So today, as I said yesterday, we're back on Project Peugeot. I'm investigating the hideous sound which I thought was coming from the alternator, so it sounded like someone strangling the cat. And it appears that it's possibly not the alternator, but it's a tensioner pulley. But I took it all apart and I'm having a bit of an investigation. It's a little bit of a mystery. I've also been tidying up on the sills. You can see down there some grey primer. And it would appear where this has been going to the tyre centre or tyre shop the last few years, they've been just jacking up on the bottom sill and they've basically bent the bottom lip up and chipped all the underbody coating off, and of course it was going rusty. So I've cleaned all that up and I've strained it all up now. It looks a bit better, and I've scraped off the bad undersill, cleaned the rust off, and I thought I'll put a bit of primer on there because it's a shame, because otherwise this is a pretty tidy car. It did gain with the last owners a minor discretion on the door here. It's not too serious, and the mould has come unclipped. A small dent in the sill. I think she said she had to go up the same parking space with another lady, and they kind of ricocheted off each other. But you never know. So I've done the same this side. Both say all four jacking points were pretty mullered up the same. Just having a look round the front end. No pads and discs were done that long ago, probably about a year ago now, but hasn't done many miles. You see they're all pretty good. I've just been around cleaning a few bits up, checking the brake pipes and roll bar links and bits and pieces, and making sure that all the bushes are all right. That seems fine. I did check the driver's side when I had the wheel off doing the head gasket, so I had the wheel arch liner out and whatnot. So I've extracted the alternator, which on the previous video, it's power steering pump out, heat shield, rad out, blah blah blah. So that's a bit of a mission, but can't really find anything wrong. All the pulleys in the AC pump spin fine. The alternator doesn't sound noisy. Oh, that actually is the plastic cover that's rattling on there. Yeah, it doesn't make a sound. Slight sound in the overrun, because it's got one of the overrun freewheeling pulleys, but it doesn't make any change whether you're on the power or off the power. So I'm just taking all the tensioner pulleys off, and I've been checking all these and making sure they're all clean, make sure they're all right. I've got a few bits and pieces laying around for these, so I've probably got a couple of tensioner pulleys in stock somewhere. Me and my infamous collection of parts. So we can get to the bottom of that one. We should be good to go. A couple of tyres, and I think she's almost MOTable. Oh, I did mention in an earlier video on this, the radiator was leaking at the bottom, but what it actually was, is where the rad hose had gone on, can't really see it, there was actually a bit of debris sitting in the hose, and I mean, they've got those spring clamps on, which obviously, you know, tighten up very, very well. They say, literally was a piece of debris sitting in the bottom of the hose, and it actually was allowing the water just to run out round the fitting and then drip off. So nice easy fix, because it sort of stopped, and I thought that's interesting, and it started again, and I thought, well, it's not the rad, it's definitely the hose. So a little investigation, that was all it was. Wish they were all that easy. So yesterday afternoon I took that Nissan note from MOT, that went straight through, just an advise on the tyres, which the customer's aware of. Starting to get a little bit aged now. It's 2017 vehicle, and a couple of them were original. It's only done 50 odd thousand miles. Other than that, straight through, no problem at all. So that was nice, nice result for the afternoon. Back on the stock car engine front, I've nearly finished having a sort out here. This is going to be just a spare parts engine. That That crank on the top there's possibly going to be scrapped. That was the worst of the two I picked for the backup engine. I put most of the bits and pieces on this we want to save. There's a couple of pulleys and bits and bobs I've got a place on it. I just like to put everything on it so you've got a whole set. Even down to silly things like studs and that, so I know. So this bit's got to be sorted through. I've had a look at some of it. There's a couple of cylinder heads there they probably don't want to keep. There's two of the correct heads. One. Getting confused, folks. There's one head there which is the type that's on that engine over there. And there's two there that probably don't need. Questionable whether we're keeping the block. It does need reboring. Cost of a rebore, plus trying to find oversized pistons for these is not easy. Although I have located a set at 0.5mm over, but I don't think that block will clean up at 0.5mm over. So, and then if you're going to all the extreme of having liners put in, you are talking lots of money. And you know, he's got 3 spare engines, so that should be enough. Plus the one that's just been built's got a good block. And the backup engine here on the stand, excuse all the rusting sounds of the polythene. There we go. That's the bottom end all assembled. Done in a nice black finish again, nice little factory look to it. So I've got all that done. I did put all the front end on as far as I could go. It doesn't really impede you putting the head on because you literally put the head in from the back and just literally do that. Head comes through. Cam belt tension to bolster the head there, and away you go. So that is a complete, ready to go bottom end. I should have the cylinder head back this week or early next week. Just waiting for the gasket. I've got all the other parts I need, belts, timing belt, bolts and everything, so I can completely finish off the spare engine. Or I suppose this one should be called, no, it's got the wrong words again. Should be called the spare engine, because the spare engine is now in the car. If any of you are still with me at that point, please let me know what I think I'm going on about. Anyhow, that's the gist of it, shall we say. So it was a nice productive morning yesterday getting that done. Nice tidy up in the workshop. Have located the floor again, which is handy. And gonna have a little maintenance this afternoon on a trusty old wheel horse. It doesn't get a lot of use really. It's more of a sort of museum piece now, I suppose. So it does get very, very much over serviced. And I'm just going to give it a little grease up. There's a few grease attention points that you've got to keep doing on these, like the deck wheels here. They take a lot of punishment. And there's some pivots on the steering, on the front axle, because the axle sort of pivots to give you a very rudimentary suspension. And a few points on the steering. There's a hidden grease point that I didn't know existed, buried down here in the steering. And when I stripped this machine down and overhauled it, I dug all this cruddy grease off of here and actually found a grease point. And the bush underneath that had actually worn away with the bronze bush and fell out. So, wow. Now it gets a lot of attention. I mean, oil level I check every time I use it. So I don't know if I mentioned the previous video, but this poor engine has suffered quite a traumatic incident with the piston at some point. It's remarkable how well it runs and how little oil it uses, and the fact that it's actually dragged a piston ring up the bore, and a part of the ring is actually sticking up the side of the piston, and there's well over an inch gouge in the bore that's very, very deep. I guess it broke a ring and it dragged it up. I found this out when I was overhauling it, and I've been using it for a couple of years before that. It's always had a bit of a piston rattle since I got it running again, and I guess that's what it is. There was no metal in the sump pan, and I'll say it, apart from it puts a little bit of oil on the end of the spark plug, and it doesn't even smoke. So I'm just leaving it. It's already at maximum overbore, so it'd have to be sleeved back. And I do have that spare engine I featured in the video, the 14 horsepower unit, which would retrofit if I needed to. But say it's been working fine for, what, 8 years since I found the problem, and before that about 4 years, so 3 years, 4 years. So it's one of them ones that I'm not going near. I think by now if it was going to blow up, it would have blown up in style, so we're not too worried. The fact that she's governed to 3,600 and you run it flat out when you're mowing, I suppose says it all. If it ain't gonna go bang now, it ain't gonna go bang. It's got plenty of compression still, fires up straight away and runs happily. So we're leaving it alone. I'll leave a little clean up now and again and stuff, but I tend to treat it more as a little curio now, and think it's earned its wages over the years, so it deserves to have its retirement years was looked after. I mean, she's 50, 54 and a bit years old now. So, bless the old girl. It's quite lovely because I've got it in the workshop when customers come up or people come to see me and they'll go, wow, look at that lovely old tractor. How was that? 20 years old? And I go, nope, it's over half a century. And they're truly amazed by the fact it's still going and it wasn't in this good a condition until I restored it, but it would have still carried on as it was. It's a nice old thing to own, and I'm quite proud of it really. And so as it's a bit of a family heirloom now, it's kind of lovely, and I think it looks cool anyhow. And it doesn't have to cut a huge amount of grass. I mean, let's give you a quick. Basically, if it shows up in the brightness, you've got a bit round there, goes around the corner, and then you've got the bit over the top over there. So it's not a huge amount, but I probably cut the grass far too much, to be honest with you, because I just like riding around on the old girl. Keeps me happy, you know. Men with tractors, I suppose, especially red ones, we're happy. Anyhow, that's sort of what's happening in the workshop on this Wednesday. It's a bit of an overcast day today. It started out sunny and it's now gone kind of, like it's going to rain, but we shall see. So I hope you like this little video and a bit of me rambling on about the tractor and whatnot and what I'm up to, and I'm going back to tackling the grumbly noises from the Peugeot. So thanks very much indeed for watching. Please like and subscribe, and bye for now.